So Mariusz Wach versus Dillian Whyte has been announced for the AJ Ruiz undercard, the second fight over in Saudi Arabia. Now, this is, considering the notice, I don't think it's a particularly bad fight. Obviously, I expect Dillian Whyte to win. I expect him to win well. At his best, Mariusz Wach was sort of a fringe European level fighter in his heyday. You know, he coexisted in a time where we had people like Derek Chisora and Kubrat Pulev in the European scene, so he was never quite a European level fighter. And sort of historically, every time he stepped up, he sort of lost, you know. His claim to fame really is all the way back in 2012, going the distance with Vladimir Klitschko, in which he put up a spirited effort. You know, he didn't particularly win many, I don't think he really won a round in that fight, but he put up a spirited effort and sort of just is basically bought a reputation for himself for being tough. Now, obviously, since then, he's faced other defeats to the likes of Povetkin, I believe Spilker and Miller as well. And most recently, he's actually been knocked out by Martin Bakole, who is the Congolese UK-based heavyweight prospect, fighting out of Scotland. So, Mariusz Wach, of recent, he's getting on a bit now. He was never quick in his heyday, and now he seems to be even slower. So, in his recent fights, he looks like he's moving in treacle. He is incredibly slow now. The punch resistance that he was famed for, you know, he was always been like a top, you know, he's always been like a top 40 heavyweight, but pretty much regarded as having the best chin in the division. That is not really the case anymore. As we do see with a lot of older fighters, the older they get, sometimes that punch resistance does seem to sort of degrade. And unfortunately, Mariusz Wach is no exception to this rule. As I say, in the last sort of tough test he had, I mean, he has had a couple of, you know, very low-level wins against journeymen, but in his last decent test, which was against Martin Bakole, in which a lot of people favoured Wach in that fight. I think people forget that. Because obviously Bakole was coming off the back of the Hunter performance, and a lot of people didn't really rate Bakole at all, and expected Wach to beat him. And Wach did not look good in that fight. He looked flat. He looked quite slow, as I say. And his punch resistance does not appear to be what it once was. With that in mind, Dillian Whyte obviously is coming off the back of this B-sample drama. We don't quite know how Dillian Whyte's going to look. It'll be interesting to see. And sort of be able to gauge exactly where Dillian Whyte's at, more than anything. I think this is just going to be more of sort of a target practice sort of fight. I expect maybe a referee stoppage, mid to late round, something like that. It probably won't go past 7. You know, although Wach has got a notability for being quite, you know, tough in there, I'm not sure at this stage of his career he will be able to stay in with a fighter of Dillian Whyte's caliber, especially if Dillian Whyte starts unloading those hooks that we all know he can do. It could be a pretty nasty end. So I think it's going to be quite a comfortable win for Dillian Whyte. I don't really foresee him having any troubles whatsoever, so long as he sticks to his boxing, and because he has good range as well, Dillian Whyte now. He has good range control. So long as he sticks to his boxing, I think he'll be able to pick off Wach and probably get a referee stoppage. So I'm going to go with a win for Dillian Whyte, probably around round 7, something like that. And tell me what you think, and take care.